It turns out that Blake Lively was caught on tape talking about how she manipulates people around her in order to take control of the movies upon which she works. Oops! That turns out to be a bad tactic. As I've said before, my first advice as a lawyer to all possible clients: don't do criming on tape. Criming on tape is stupid and bad, and don't do it. It's not a crime to do this, but it does make it look a little suspicious that you are using exactly these tactics against Justin Baldoni, apparently.
If you believe every Hollywood story ends with a perfectly wrapped bow, you might want to sit down for this one. Ryan Reynolds, everyone's favorite wisecracking star, has found himself at the center of rumors that just won't fade away. On the surface, he's the goofy, charming face of blockbuster hits, but behind that grin are swirling claims of power plays, hidden jabs, and big-name allies influencing far more than just movie scripts. Today, we're diving into a tangled web that also involves Blake Lively, Taylor Swift, Justin Baldoni, and even conservative commentator Ben Shapiro. Is Reynolds truly a beloved comedic genius, or is there a darker twist to his Hollywood reign? Let's pull back the curtain and see what really might be happening behind the scenes. Ryan Reynolds' career trajectory has been nothing short of meteoric. From small comedic roles to headlining massive superhero franchises, he's climbed the Hollywood ladder with wit, charm, and timing that few actors can match. Audiences often gravitate to that disarming humor, the quick one-liners, and the constant joking even in the middle of an action-packed sequence. But peel back the layers of that comedic bravado and you might find a star who's far more calculating than he lets on. Rumors whisper that Reynolds, behind closed doors, is a savvy strategist, shaping not just his own persona, but also the creative choices of entire productions. Some insiders admire his hands-on approach, calling him a natural-born collaborator. Others see it as overreach, an actor crossing lines and stirring up friction. So, how did this comedic icon become a lightning rod for so much chatter?
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds at the SNL 50th year reunion.
And I think not just that they appeared there, but were involved in the show in a way where they were poking fun fully at this whole battle between Blake and Justin Baldoni.
Did not go over in a hilarious way.
It's one thing to keep audiences laughing. It's another to keep them talking about hidden drama. The answer may lie in the powerful circles he navigates, including a wife who's no stranger to on-set demands and a close friend who just so happens to be a global pop phenomenon. People often joke that behind every successful man stands a strong woman. Well, Ryan Reynolds might have too. His wife, Blake Lively, has a well-documented track record of being deeply involved in her projects, from selecting outfits to suggesting rewrites. She's fiercely protective of her brand and image, and if rumors hold any water, she's not afraid to flex that influence whenever she deems it necessary. Then there's Taylor Swift, who needs no introduction. Worldwide tours, record-breaking album sales, and an army of fans who hang on her every move. Swift's clout is legendary. Pair that with the star power of Lively, and you've got a formidable combination that could open doors or slam them shut in any creative field. The real buzz started when whispers surfaced that Lively, Swift, and Reynolds had collectively weighed in on a developing movie, supposedly guided by the talented yet comparatively lower-profile Justin Baldoni. The question, did they exert subtle persuasion or outright strong-arm him into script changes? Depending on whom you ask, the truth lies somewhere between a friendly brainstorming session and an audacious show of Hollywood muscle. Observers argue that this synergy of A-listers is only natural. Actors and pop stars mingle, share ideas, and sometimes even collaborate creatively. Critics, however, see it differently. They point to Lively's outspoken desire to shape the projects she's in, and Swift's history of safeguarding her brand with razor-sharp focus. If they joined forces, and if Reynolds backed them up, then it's possible the guiding hand of a single director could be overshadowed by a triumvirate of celebrity influence. If the rumors are true, Justin Baldoni suddenly found himself fielding suggestions, or demands, from a trio who ordinarily sit comfortably on talk show couches and magazine covers. Baldoni is no stranger to the spotlight himself. After all, he's a celebrated actor and director with credits that have earned him respect across the industry. But the swirling stories suggest that the pressure he faced this time was of an entirely different magnitude. Depending on the account, Baldoni had a specific vision for his film, perhaps something more nuanced or emotionally driven.
Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. And then she wanted to, ixnayed all of the wardrobe choices, because when you're making a movie about a poor woman who's suffering from domestic violence, you want her to look like she has money.
Right.
That Blake said.
That's what she did.
She looks like she has money.
Yep.
And she's dressing in florals. And then she's going on this press tour, pushing her liquor line.
Some claim that Reynolds, Lively, and Swift wanted to tweak that vision to better reflect comedic elements or even highlight certain star-pleasing storylines. Others say the changes leaned in the opposite direction, aiming for heftier drama that might appeal to Swift's famously introspective style or Lively's penchant for layered storytelling. Of course, these are rumors, not confirmed accounts. Yet they reveal a larger theme in Hollywood. What happens when a seasoned director with a distinct voice is confronted by a constellation of A-listers who all have opinions, and the clout to enforce them? The tale of Baldoni's alleged predicament is a cautionary one, reminding outsiders that creative control often hangs in the balance when big names enter the picture. While talk of overshadowing directors is enough to turn heads, another storyline was unfolding that placed Reynolds in the crosshairs of yet another controversy. Enter Ben Shapiro, the polarizing conservative commentator, who never shies away from speaking his mind. Shapiro's target this time? Reynolds' comedic style in the film Deadpool and Wolverine, a project that soared at the box office but apparently failed to impress him. Shapiro labeled the movie repetitive, overly reliant on improvisation, and bogged down by jokes that felt neither fresh nor clever. His most memorable line on the topic? "Some people like this movie. Some people are stupid." Subtle, it was not. Critics and fans alike debated Shapiro's points, arguing that Deadpool's entire appeal is that it thrives on borderline absurd humor and endless wisecracks. But Shapiro's rant posed a bigger question. Is Reynolds' comedic approach evolving, or is it stuck in a loop? If you've seen one wisecracking Reynolds character, have you effectively seen them all? Supporters say he's perfected a brand. Why fix what isn't broken? Detractors say comedic repetition eventually grows stale, and Shapiro's comments simply lit the fuse on a broader conversation about whether Reynolds can, or should, venture beyond the same comedic beats he's used for years.
Justin says that Blake was determined to make him the real-life villain in her story because she wasn't doing well on the promo tour for the movie. It was very tone-deaf. Her hair care line wasn't doing well. She was trying to sell booze while talking about domestic violence. Justin says the war between himself and Blake really started in May 2023 when they started shooting the movie. He claims that she was organizing a takeover strategy.
Shapiro's critique might have been over the top, but it highlighted a real tension. As Reynolds gains more power, is he taking creative risks that push him out of his comfort zone? Or is he doubling down on what made him famous in the first place? Whatever your stance, one thing is certain. A man as vocal and influential as Shapiro can keep a conversation burning for quite a while. Just when you thought the talk of controversies ended with rumored script meddling and scathing reviews, one more piece of the puzzle emerged. Nice pool. In Deadpool and Wolverine, eagle-eyed viewers spotted a character who looked and acted suspiciously like Justin Baldoni. According to internet chatter and some dedicated fans dissecting every scene, Nice Pool wasn't just a random cameo. It appeared to be a tongue-in-cheek lampoon of Baldoni, down to mannerisms and speech patterns eerily similar to his. On its surface, a comedic cameo might seem harmless. After all, Deadpool's entire modus operandi is poking fun at everyone and everything, including itself. But if indeed Nice Pool was an elaborate wink at Baldoni's gentle demeanor or directing style, it could hint at deeper personal tension. Was it a friendly nudge from Reynolds, or a veiled slight aimed at a director who allegedly resisted Lively and Swift's script suggestions? Fans on social media lit up with theories, dissecting every nuance of Nice Pool's lines. Some saw it as nothing more than an inside joke, the kind that runs rampant in the Deadpool franchise. Others felt it exposed a simmering feud between Reynolds and Baldoni, especially if the cameo was inserted after behind-the-scenes disagreements. Without official commentary from either Reynolds or Baldoni, the speculation continued to swirl, only adding to the sense that there's far more going on than meets the eye. Hollywood insiders often describe the film industry as a high-stakes juggling act. Directors need bankable stars to secure funding and distribution, while A-listers rely on directors for strong scripts and captivating roles that keep them relevant. It's a symbiotic relationship, until it isn't. The talk surrounding Reynolds, Baldoni, Lively, and Swift underscores just how easily that relationship can become lopsided. Producers and studio executives keep a close eye on media chatter. If they sense that Reynolds is too controlling or that Lively exerts disproportionate influence, it might create friction for future collaborations. On the other hand, star power sells.
The times where people ignore the red flags and say, let's just keep pushing, those are the times where you fail. The majority of things that we're buying are created by men. You always learn more from your failures than you do your successes. I love creating, and I think that as women, you're not often given authorship, yet women represent 85% of people making purchases in homes across all categories.
Reynolds' name on a poster practically guarantees a wave of viewers, especially if the marketing leans into his comedic brand. Critics of the star-driven model say it undermines the very art of filmmaking. Directors pour heart and soul into crafting narratives, and it's disheartening when a major celebrity can override their vision with a single phone call. Supporters, however, argue that Hollywood has always been about star power. It's not new or shocking. It's simply the cost of working in an industry where box office results can make or break careers. Meanwhile, the public is left watching from the sidelines, uncertain which parts of the gossip are credible. Did Taylor Swift and Blake Lively actually corner Baldoni in a private meeting, forcing him to overhaul key scenes? Did Reynolds really sign off on a cameo mocking Baldoni's persona? If so, is it all in good fun or a sign of actual animosity? Industry chatter can run wild with these stories, and the truth, if it exists at all, often remains hidden behind NDAs and carefully worded press statements. Yet one undeniable outcome of this speculation is that it boosts everyone's visibility. People tune into these controversies because they love a good narrative that pits the powerful against the creative. And in Hollywood, such friction can be just as compelling as the movies themselves. With all these puzzle pieces, a comedic style that some say is losing its shine, a rumored three-person power circle shaping a director's vision, a scalding critique from Ben Shapiro, and a cameo that might be a dig at Justin Baldoni, you'd think Ryan Reynolds' reputation would be on shaky ground. But that's the paradox of celebrity culture. Sometimes, controversy fuels a career rather than derails it. For Reynolds, the path forward might involve doubling down on the humor that made him famous. After all, audiences largely embraced Deadpool, Free Guy, and countless other comedic roles. But if the behind-the-scenes allegations keep cropping up, stories of overshadowing directors, turning collaborative efforts into comedic stand-up routines, he could face a backlash from within the industry. Directors talk to each other, and producers carefully gauge whether working with a star is worth potential friction. Blake Lively and Taylor Swift, each with her own brand and legion of fans, likely have little to lose in the eyes of the public. Their personal relationships remain well-loved pop culture talking points, and controversies often blow over if handled swiftly. The bigger question is Justin Baldoni's perspective. If he truly felt undermined, is he likely to speak out publicly or keep quiet to protect future opportunities? On the audience side, some might start looking at Reynolds' comedic shtick more skeptically, wondering if every joke or cameo doubles as a personal reference. Will they see it as part of his irreverent charm, or start suspecting that each gag is a subtle jab? Hollywood watchers will be eyeing Reynolds' next few projects closely, dissecting whether he evolves his comedic style or stands firm in the formula that's long defined him. At the end of the day, Ryan Reynolds remains one of Hollywood's most bankable stars, propelled by a knack for humor that resonates with mainstream audiences. Yet the swirl of controversies, from alleged script manipulation with Blake Lively and Taylor Swift to the comedic critiques lobbed by Ben Shapiro, suggests there's more behind his public persona than just witty one-liners. Rumors of a jab at Justin Baldoni, courtesy of the nice pool cameo, only add to the sense that tensions may run deeper than fan banter. Where does that leave us? Possibly at the cusp of a turning point. If Reynolds chooses to adapt, expanding his range and showing respect for directorial visions, he could solidify his place not just as a comedic legend, but also as a multifaceted actor-producer whose talents go beyond self-referential humor. If he sticks to the playbook that made him famous, controversy may continue to circle him, for better or worse. In Hollywood, reinvention is key, and star power is as much about controlling perception as it is about raw talent. Will the swirling chatter around Reynolds fade away, or will it intensify, shining a spotlight on the line between creative freedom and ego-driven meddling? That's for viewers and insiders alike to decide. One thing's for sure, with names as big as Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, Taylor Swift, and Justin Baldoni in the mix, this behind-the-scenes saga isn't likely to end quietly. Think about the last Reynolds movie you watched. Were you simply entertained, or did you notice the comedic style overshadowing the story itself? Do these rumors change the way you view his performances or the influence he wields off camera? Share your thoughts and keep your eyes peeled the next time you see his name in the headlines, because in Hollywood, the most fascinating stories often unfold when the cameras stop rolling.